What's up, all my friends, family, and fans on social media? My name again is MC Josiah, and tonight I'm going to be doing a little video showcasing one piece of software that I use for a lot of media production, especially and more specifically music production. Specifically, I want to show y'all guys the DAW I've been using since last summer to work on my new album, Abstract. I want to showcase y'all guys a little demo of it and what it can do, so we're going to go ahead and get right into it. So here it is, this piece of software that I have open here on my MacBook screen right now, which it says QuickTime at the top of here. Let me click. There we go. This is a legacy version of the DAW Logic called Logic Express 9. Basically, before 2012, 13ish, sometime around that time, Logic existed in three forms. GarageBand for free, Logic Express for around $200-ish, and then finally Logic Studio, which was a very high-end version of Logic that included Logic Pro and MainStage and a few other goodie softwares. This right here was the mid-range version of it all, the Logic Express, and this specific version right here is Logic Express 9, which it came out in 2009. This says 2004, but that's when the whole Logic Express line started in general, or at least when Apple bought it in general. But Logic Express 9 came out in 2009 originally and was last updated in 2012. And this DAW supports both 32-bit and 64-bit. In fact, when you first install it, it actually automatically launches in 32-bit, but you have to go in and manually set it to where it'll automatically launch 64-bit every time, which it isn't that hard, but I'm not going to go into detail about that. Anyway, so this right here is the DAW I've been using since last summer to write my new upcoming album, Abstract, and some of the other material you've heard, including some of the freestyle beats you've heard in some of my live performances too. So let me get into explaining all this. For one, what a DAW is a DAW is a digital audio workstation. It's basically like a virtual studio. It combines a multi-track recorder, a MIDI editor, and a mixer all together in one piece of software. You know what I mean? Now, the first DAW to ever come out was Pro Tools in 1991, which the first version of Pro Tools could record up to like 4 tracks of audio. Although I'm not sure how many MIDI tracks it can necessarily do. I got to go back and read that again. But whatever the case, DAWs have existed since about 1991, or at least all around DAWs, what we would consider a DAW. And this right here is a 2009 DAW. So anyway, we got right here the playlist, which is the multi-track recorder part. We have right here the MIDI editing part, one of the MIDI editing parts. And then right here we have the mixer. And this mixer right here is pretty good, you know what I mean, here in Logic. Even in Logic Express, I like the mixer here, but we'll get into more later. So you might ask, for one, what's MIDI? Because you might have heard me use the term MIDI. What is that? So MIDI is a interface protocol that was invented in the early to mid 80s, I think 1983 originally, that allows computers or other electronic instruments to communicate with computers or other electronic instruments. Or to simplify it, it allows computers to control electronic instruments. Basically, after MIDI was invented, it became completely possible and an easy way to plug and play a synthesizer into a computer and open up, say, a MIDI version of Cubase and program melodies or play melodies and then quantize the melodies, and voila, you know what I mean? There was a lot of stuff you could do with MIDI back in the 80s. And the fun thing about MIDI is it never went away. Even in modern DAWs in 2025, like FL Studio 2025 and Logic Pro 11, there's still MIDI being used today. You know what I mean? Now, this right now, to demonstrate MIDI, I'm going to go and create a new track. I'm just going to do software because I don't have my Casio keyboard turned on, really, and I don't feel like walking over there to turn it on. So we're going to do create keyboard. It's already set to an electric piano, but I'm going to change this to something more pleasant. The Yamaha Piano Room. And I got my 25 key little USB MIDI keyboard here. I'm going to bring it up an octave and show you what MIDI is. So my keyboard right here is just a controller. In fact, I'll post a picture of it in the video during editing. But yeah, I have a 25 key MIDI keyboard as a controller, and I can control virtual instruments, and I have this Yamaha piano loaded up. So I can basically go I kind of got sloppy there, but you get the point, you know what I mean? I can basically press keys, and you see it's playing it down here in this little MIDI in, MIDI out thing. It's showing no out, but it does show in, which is the in from this keyboard. And it's showing F3, because that's what it is. Anyway. And even if I were to scroll this up, I think you would see here. I don't know if this version does it. I know most modern DAWs. No, this doesn't do, but still pretty understandable. Okay. So yeah, that's basically what MIDI is. And now what pretty much any modern DAW can do, unless it's like a really weird bizarre DAW, is record both MIDI and audio into it. So right now for audio, I have a track open up with my microphone. Let me switch it to the mixer. And oh yeah, by the way, practically every modern DAW also has a mixer. This right here is the mixer. This isn't the only mixer window I have open, but it's the only one in this screen you can see. Because my other screen, my laptop screen down here, has the mixer I'm using to control its mic. But anyway, this is the mixer right here. And it is how you route all your audio, your MIDI together, and how you add effects, how you sidechain things, and all sorts of goodies. You know what I mean? And I use it to control. Right now I have this audio track, Audio 1. And it's feeding in my dynamic mic, which is an SM58. I have a M equalizer and a limiter on here. And this right here is the Yamaha MIDI keyboard. It has a chain EQ and this reverb plugin. And it is specifically an S24 sampler, which I don't know if they got that sampler on modern Logic, but that it's very useful here on this version of Logic. Anyway. So before I record audio, I'm actually going to record MIDI, and I'm going to turn on the metronome. Oh yeah, I already had the metronome on. I already have it on, see? I'm going to bring this down to, change the tempo to, bring it down to about 90 beats a minute. And now we're going to record a little melody that I'm going to do a freestyle over in a minute. So here we go. I'm going to try to be precise. I'm going to try not to get uppy. This is going to be simple just to demonstrate to you guys. Let me see. I messed up. Yeah, so, and actually it's kind of good I messed up because I can demonstrate some things with y'all here. So anyway, as you notice, those notes I just recorded on my little controller keyboard printed here on the playlist in Logic. Now I can go to the piano roll right here, which is that virtual keyboard grid thing I showed you, and I can look at the notes I just recorded. And as I play them, it'll show how they play. Let me demonstrate. And that's where I start messing up. So yeah. But see, as you can tell that you can record MIDI directly into it, and you can, here's what you can do once you record that MIDI. For one, we can get rid of all this old MIDI I don't want, which is all this. Highlight it, press delete, shorten the clip up here to here. So there we go, and then turn on loop. And then now what I can also do is I can highlight all this, and I can turn on a quantization measurement. I'm going to do 16th notes, and then I'm going to go quantize. And voila, I quantize. Now let's play it. Oh, no, I messed up. But as you can tell, that quantization made those notes land on there perfectly. And if you could also tell, I deleted all that really bad MIDI at the end of that cycle, that kind of went off cycle that I messed up on. You know what I mean? Now I'm going to demonstrate one more thing, because I don't know how long we're going right now in this video, but I'm going to demonstrate one more thing for you guys with this, with what a DAW is and what I can do in this DAW and how I make my music. So anyway, we got this. I'm going to leave the metronome on as sort of my drum. And I'm going to turn on the record for this. You're going to hear it go silent for a second, but then it'll come back on as soon as I press the actual record. And here, let me save this real quick because it's going to be like, oh, you have to save it before. Here, I'm going to call this T8 because this is like one. I've attempted this tutorial many times. All right, it's going to take a second to save because it has that rompler in there, that piano rompler, Yamaha piano, which is a rompler. A rompler is just another fancy term for plugin based off samples. You know what I mean? Like if most piano and drum plugins on computers in general, even the most high-end ones, are romplers to some extent. You know what I mean? Now really high-end drum and pianos might use synthesis to some extent, but they're also going to be romplers to some extent. They're not like, synthesis is like sine waves and saw waves and all that stuff from an actual synth. Well, that's taking a minute. I'm going to kind of fast forward this part or cut it out. We're back. I got that save done. I learned the hard way that on a 2008 MacBook you have to stop the screen recorder for it to save at proper speed. So yeah, I guess it's just a bug. And that's the thing about using this old equipment. Before I continue, is it's not bad to use old hardware equipment. I encourage it if you're trying to save money and, you know, help recycle things and do all that. But at the same time, there are bugs you got to deal with. You know what I mean? So just be wary. But anyway, now that we're back to this, before I had to stop the screen recorder, we had this little piano line recorded and quantized because I was showing you how MIDI worked. Yeah, see? So now we're going to go ahead and loop it out because on this version, even on this version of Logic, you can do looping. So we're going to stretch this out to here. And then I'm going to go to right click here, go to drag this into this screen so you can see what I'm doing. Drag this to 2 bars because I always like to have 2 bars before I go in. You know what I mean? Alrighty, and you're gonna hear my mic muted for a second now. Like I said before, before I had to restart the recorder. But let me show you what recording audio into a DAW is. Here we go. Gotta take it slow when I make the flow. Always gotta constantly be dope. Never let these demons come in control. When they only wanna rummage my soul, plummet me cold, deep into a hole. But you better know I gotta be steep and bold, like a boulder, getting freaking colder, like the Arctic blast coming over the entire United States. Here I come with the fire flow that I bring, dominate like a battlefield when I rap for real, cause I'm bad and ill. Anyway, yeah, that's audio basically. And now we're going to go ahead and play it back. Gotta take it slow when I make the flow. Always gotta constantly be dope. Never let these demons come in control. When they only wanna rummage my soul, plummet me cold, deep into a hole. But you better know I gotta be steep and bold, like a boulder, getting freaking colder, like the Arctic blast coming over the entire United States. Here I come with the fire flow that I bring, dominate like a battlefield when I rap for real, cause I'm bad and ill. Yeah, and that's basically how you record audio into a DAW and what the whole process is. So, as you can tell, this whole playlist is the multi-track part of what a DAW is in this Logic Express right here. You know what I mean? Which is the DAW I've been using since last summer to work on my new upcoming album, Abstract. Well, anyway, hopefully you guys enjoy my video of me showcasing the software that I've been using since last summer to work on my upcoming album, Abstract, which is going to be, again, a few months away, but I can't wait to show y'all the finished product of that. It's been a lot of hard work, and there's still more hard work to do, but it's going to be a tight album, y'all, and I can't wait to show y'all. Anyway, if y'all like this video, leave a like, comment, share, follow, or subscribe wherever I post this, and I'll see you on the next video like this. Peace.